Well, George, I do want to give you a shout out here. I think that looking for those new and innovative ways to recruit is sometimes a challenge, but always welcome. And I saw recently that the Army's entered into a partnership with the UFL, which is the new spring football league. I'm a little biased here. The St. Louis Battlehawks have the highest, by far and away, highest attendance numbers. They average 35,000 people at these games. And so I think that's a smart way to reach a new audience. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities there. Can you walk me through how this kind of came to be and what you expect from it?
Sure, Senator. And I agree with you. We do think it will be a good audience. People love watching football. I'm at the top of that list. The part of this with the UFL that I like about the comparisons are these are a bunch of, last year I think there was 100 that came out of the UFL that went into the pros. I mean, what we need to get out to everybody, it's the same thing in the Army. You can come into the Army and you can accelerate your life. You're going to advance your life. And so they were interested in this partnership with us, and we studied it with our marketing agency, and we're in a one-year agreement to see how this works. But so far it's been really good, and we've had troopers telling their stories at every one of these games across all compos. So I'm sure we've had soldiers out there on the sideline doing that, which I think is great.
That's good. Yeah, maybe we'll have to follow up and get you a T-shirt that "Call is the law," which is the call is for the Battlehawks. Anyway, all right. So, Secretary Warmoth, I do want to ask you a question. Enjoyed our visit at Fort Leonard Wood. I guess it was around a year ago. It was in August, maybe. As you know, in last year's NDAA, it required certain criteria and certifications be made by you before the Army can relocate the Army's CID, Special Agent Training Course, or any of its training cadre. Despite that, our office has learned recently that the Army is already in the midst of a comprehensive overhaul of CID training and composition. And maybe most concerning, the Army Times reported that, quote, in the Army, the lowest retention job specialties for men were criminal investigation division special agent with a retention rate of 38% for fiscal year 23. We also learned that CID agents are already flowing through pipelines in the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, the Fleet C. So this was one of the things that we were trying to address in the NDAA. And it feels like, and I'd like for you to maybe give some explanation, it feels like this is an effort to get around the law, because there's supposed to be a process before what appears to be happening is actually happening. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to walk me through this, because it feels like a workaround.
Certainly, Senator Schmitt. We do not want to try to do a workaround. I think, as you know very, very well, we are in the process of transforming the Criminal Investigative Division, and it is our intent to have 60% of those agents become civilian. That's a big change, and I think I'm not intimately familiar with the retention statistics for CID, but I think part of what you're seeing a little bit is change is hard. I'm certainly aware, I know that there is some anxiety from our uniformed folks about the transformation. But we want to comply with the law, and what I'd like to do is make sure that we have Director Ford come and brief you on how he is proceeding. Certainly we continue to plan to have our MPs and agents train at Fort Leonard Wood. There is also, I think, some training they're doing with FLETC, but what I'd like to do is have Director Ford come and talk with you in detail about what they're doing.
Okay, let's do that, because that's a very important role that Fort Leonard Wood plays. And I think one of the reasons why we wanted to make sure before there's any real change that it's a real process. And it appears as though maybe some things are being moved away, whether it's without those certifications or not. So we'll work with you on that. Look forward to that briefing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.